"He's my man." A sentence from Yang Miemie made the whole social network cry. The noisy start of the live stream. It was a regular live stream where YuLong and Yang Miemie appeared with fans. No script. No preparation. Just a sincere sharing about work, life, and emotions. The two are famous for being a private couple, always maintaining a gentle and simple attitude. So every time they appear online, they make fans feel close and warm. However, in the era of strong social networks, everything can be distorted in an instant. An anonymous account suddenly left a shocking comment. Men who are afraid of their wives are really failures. No one expected that just that short sentence would make the atmosphere in the live stream room become heavy and suffocating. YuLong, who usually has a calm and cheerful appearance, suddenly fell silent. He still kept a smile on his lips, but his eyes were a little shaken. His gentleness suddenly became the subject of attack. And what hurt people the most was the hesitation in his eyes, as if he was wondering, should I refute, or just keep quiet and let it go? The viewers were divided into many emotions at that moment. Some were angry on YuLong's behalf, others were skeptical, and some were waiting for a decisive response from him. But at that moment, something unexpected happened, and it changed the whole situation. A sentence that made the entire social network fall silent. While everyone was still waiting for YuLong to speak, Yang Miemie, who was usually quiet and rarely expressed her personal opinions strongly in public, suddenly slowly raised her head. Her eyes looked straight into the lens. Her voice soft but decisive. "He is my person. How I want to love is my business. No one is allowed to interfere." The air seemed to freeze. Every keyboard noise, every comment line instantly fell into a state of emptiness. People no longer felt anger, no longer rebuttal, only shock and admiration. Because, in this noisy and critical world, such a statement was not just a defense, but also a public, proud declaration of love. It was not a sudden outburst of anger, nor a momentary emotion. It was a belief and choice that had been refined over the years, and that was why it had the power to move people's hearts. YuLong's gentleness and knowing smile. After Yang Miemie's statement, everyone waited to see how YuLong would react. Would he say something to defend his girlfriend? Or would he appear confused? But he did not do anything dramatic. He just looked at her, a warm gaze that choked, and then smiled slightly. That smile was not to please anyone. It was a smile of gratitude, of wordless love, and of overflowing pride. In YuLong's eyes at that moment, there was no guilt or hurt, but relief, as if he had found someone who could stand up for him when he couldn't. The audience saw that smile and understood. He was not afraid of his wife, but was loving her in the most noble and mature way. He was not weak, but strong enough to be silent, to trust, and to give his protection to the girl he loved. Afraid of his wife, or an admirable type of maturity. The concept of afraid of his wife has long been distorted in modern society. People often use this phrase to mock men who are gentle and yielding to their partners. But in fact, humility in love is not weakness, but a clear sign of a man who understands and appreciates feelings. YuLong is not afraid of Yang Miemie, but loves her enough to put his ego aside. He understands that a lasting relationship does not come from power or control, but from trust, respect, and the ability to listen. Truly strong people are those who dare to let go of their pride to keep love. Love does not need justification, just companionship. In love, we do not always have the opportunity to speak up to refute all judgments. But when someone stands up for you, no need to explain, no need to raise their voice, just a word, a determined look. That is the most beautiful proof of companionship. Yang Miemie is not defending YuLong out of duty, but she is protecting the person she loves because of her heart. She does not need to analyze right and wrong, does not need to argue about gender or role. She just needs to affirm, "He is mine." And that sentence says it all. Mature love. Not noisy but deep. Love does not necessarily have to be vows of eternal love, nor does it need to be ostentatious actions on social networks. Sometimes, love is simply when two people go through a storm together, still holding hands and smiling. YuLong and Yang Miemie do not try to show themselves as a perfect couple. They also do not use tricks to show off. Instead, the calmness and sophistication in the way they protect each other is what makes the public admires them. They live with their emotions, and therefore, they touch the hearts of others gently and deeply. Echoes from real moments, and reality is more beautiful than movies. After the live stream, The online community kept sharing that moment. People cut the clip, rewrote Yang Miemie's words, reposted YuLong's smile. Truthful things always have a strong spreading power. Some people say that moment is like a perfect movie scene, but it is not a movie. It is real life. And that is why it is even more valuable. No one wrote the script. No one directed. Only real emotions spoke at the right time. Brave message from a simple sentence. He is mine. That sentence is not only a love statement, but also a declaration of sovereignty, an affirmation of choice, and also a declaration of war against prejudice. In an age where judgments are easily made with just a few comments, it is a precious thing for someone to stand up and say what they believe in. Yang Miemie did not speak at length. She chose the shortest, but also the strongest, way. And YuLong, with his smile, proved that he completely trusted and was proud of that woman. What do we learn from this love? We learn that love does not need to be explained to the world. Love is not to be proven, but to be lived, to be felt, and to be accompanied. In a world full of hurt and doubt, the most wonderful thing is to find someone who dares to stand up and say, I choose you. And if one day we fall into a situation where we are misunderstood, attacked, the most beautiful thing is to have someone brave enough, loving enough to speak up for us, without needing a reason. That is the kind of love that YuLong and Yang Miemie have, and that is also what each of us yearns for. Maybe that live stream was just a brief moment in their lives. But for millions of viewers, it was a milestone, a lesson in loving and being loved. They didn't need a stage, didn't need flashy lights. Just sincerity and courage were enough to become a model of love in this era. Love isn't perfect, but it can be kind. It doesn't need to be a fairy tale. It just needs to be sincere. And the moment he's mine is proof that sometimes a sentence is enough to make the whole world silent and moved. They did it. Simply, beautifully, and most profoundly, sincerely. That love, not just theirs, but all of ours. When that story spread across platforms, many people left comments saying that they cried. Not because it was a tragic love scene, but because they felt touched, healed. In modern society, where everyone carries the scars of loneliness, of broken relationships, of nameless relationships, the moment YuLong and Yang Miemie stood up for each other was a beacon of hope. They are not perfect, but they're sincere. Not ostentatious, but deep enough. Not talking much, but every action is full of love. Their love is like a soft song, not needing a climax, but every note touches the heart. They show us. True love is not in form, not in promises, but in the way we choose each other, every day, in every situation. And most importantly, they teach us that when you truly love someone, you will not leave them alone in their worst moments. You will not let anyone touch them with hurtful words. You will stand up, like Yang Miemie did, and say, he is mine. Because sometimes, love doesn't need an explanation. It just needs to be there. We thank YuLong and Yang Miemie for reminding the world of something simple yet important. True love always exists. And it starts with courage, with a gentle look, with a small sentence, but enough to touch millions of hearts. If you have ever loved, had someone stand by you, or ever longed for a love like that, please believe. You are worthy. And who knows? One day not far away, you will also be the one to exclaim, she is mine, or he is mine, with all the pride and tenderness in the world.